Today we are setting the record straight on cruising. Forget everything you thought you knew because I'm about to bust 10 common myths that might just be keeping you from your next amazing adventure. From debunking the age-old cruises are only for the elderly to revealing how you can find peace and privacy on a ship. Stick with me to the end to learn why cruising could be your next best vacation. Let's dive in. Ahoy travelers, it's Amy here to help you make your travel experience a success. Now for those who are cruise experts, you will probably recognize some of these common cruise myths, but you're going to want to stick around and let me know which ones surprised you and if you have any tips for new cruisers when it comes to some of these cruising myths. Number 1, cruises are only for old people. Now, cruises are definitely not just for old people. I've seen cruises packed with young families, groups of friends, and even solo adventurers. There's something for everyone, from high-energy activities to chill-out zones. Modern cruises cater to a wide demographic, and even lines that have been known for their older clientele are starting to make some changes to encourage more families to book their lines. So data from the Cruise Lines International Association, or CLIA, shows that millennials make up a significant portion of repeat cruisers, with Gen X and Gen Z also increasing in numbers. Now, with cruise lines now offering activities like rock climbing, water parks, and nightlife that's tailored to younger passengers, it's really no wonder that more and more families and young people are making it their vacation of choice. So number 2, cruises are always crowded and claustrophobic. Well, modern ships are designed with all kinds of cruisers in mind, with hidden spots designed just for those who like to find a quiet spot to relax. Privacy is there if you know where to look. So one well-known option is to spring for a balcony cabin, which does give you your own personal slice of the seat, place to get away from everyone. Modern ships are made with more balcony cabins than any other type, as they have become the most popular cabin type. Another great way to find a little bit of privacy is to find an unused lounge or even a bar. Often these areas will remain open even while they're not being used for an event. This is especially true during the morning hours. And I like to find a quiet corner in one of these areas and sit down with a cup of coffee and a good book. Plus, many ships now have adult-only zones that are designed so cruisers can get away from the noise and crowds. The sheer size of modern ships allows for more deck space and entertainment venues to accommodate crowds effectively. This just reduces the feeling of being crowded and congestion. Of course, the choice of line and ship and when you sail will also greatly affect how crowded a cruise will be. Sailing on a Carnival or Royal Caribbean ship during the summer, when there are lots of families with children, will be a vastly different cruise than booking a celebrity or princess cruise in the off-season. And if none of that is enough for you, many lines also have a restricted area that costs a little extra but provides more privacy. Now, do you have a favorite place to get away from the crowds? Let me know in the comments. Number 3, you'll get seasick on a cruise. Now, while seasickness isn't completely a thing of the past, with modern stabilizers and ships that are so large they're practically floating cities, seasickness is not the issue that it used to be. If you are prone to motion sickness and are worried about becoming seasick, there are several tips that can have you sailing right through that cruise. Number 1, book a cabin lower down and midship, as they are less prone to movement. Number 2, take precautions like sea bands or patches. Many people put them on before the ship ever leaves shore and keep them on throughout the cruise. Number 3, keep medication like Dramamine on hand and take it if there's any indication that you're going to be sailing through rough seas. Often the captain will give you some notice of that. It's better to head off any possible seasickness before it happens. Number 4, if you find that you have a mild case, try some green apples from the buffet or some ginger ale or ginger beer from the bar. Now, I don't get seasick, but I still keep some ginger chews and Dramamine in my cruise bag just in case there's some really rough seas. Number 4, cruising is too expensive. Cruising can be one of the best vacation deals out there. You're essentially getting a hotel, meals, and entertainment all in one, plus travel. I've scored some awesome deals by booking at the right time and booking early. Another option, if your schedule is flexible enough, is to snag last-minute offers on cruises that are not fully booked. They're trying to fill those cabins up. Now, I have an entire playlist dedicated to budget cruising. I'm going to leave a link to that in the description so you can check out all my videos designed to help you choose the right cruise for your budget. Number 5, cruises are boring. Boring on a cruise? Never. From dance classes to skydiving simulators, there's more to do than you can fit in one trip. I mean, they have roller coasters on cruise ships. They have go-kart tracks on cruise ships. I'm one of those people who love both sea days and port days equally and find that I never get to go to all the events that I would like during a sea day. Crafts, trivia, game shows, movies on the open deck. There is just so much to do. Love to read? Curl up with a book in a deck chair on an adults-only section, or find a quiet spot in an empty lounge. Are you into games? Join an organized game hosted by the cruise line, or just watch it. Bring your own game and play it until your heart's content. Are you a partier? Head to the club or join a deck party. The choice of cruise line can also play a huge factor in whether you find something that you will enjoy or not. So some cruise lines are geared more towards families, while others, especially luxury lines, are geared more towards adults with little that would keep kids entertained. Smaller ships will offer fewer activities and evening entertainment options. Do your research before booking. Now, I've only known 2 people who have gone on a cruise and said that they were bored and they never wanted to do it again. Both were men who didn't have hobbies other than manual labor. One is a farmer, the other does a lot of construction in his downtime. So unless you're one of the rare people who only find enjoyment in being busy with manual labor and just has zero ability to seem to relax, then I'm sure that you won't be bored on a cruise ship. Number 6, cruises aren't environmentally friendly. Now, environmental impact is often a concern, but the industry is stepping up and has been making significant changes over the past few years. Ships are being built with solar panels, cleaner fuel options, and waste management systems. Most new ships are going to LNG, as liquid natural gas is a much cleaner fuel source. Some lines are adding optional shore power hookups to their ships. This allows them to stop burning fuel while docked and hook into the power grid at the port. Now, we're likely going to see this occurring more and more often as ports begin adding the infrastructure required for shore power. Number 7, cruises are dangerous. Anytime a death occurs on board a cruise, it makes the news, which is probably why there are some out there who think that cruising is dangerous, especially when it comes to going overboard. First off, there are very few man overboard situations a year, especially when you compare that to how many people cruise every year. Let me assure you, you cannot just fall overboard on a cruise ship. You can't just trip and fall off a cruise ship. They are designed with safety in mind. You would have to make a deliberate decision to go overboard or make a series of really bad choices like drinking too much, climbing on railings, standing on furniture near railings, trying to get that perfect selfie and putting yourself in a really bad position. So don't fear going overboard, just make good decisions. Number 8, cruise entertainment is low quality. Now, entertainment on cruises has significantly upgraded with productions like Broadway shows, Cirque du Soleil performances, and high-tech drone shows. Ships often feature live music, comedy clubs, and even guest celebrity performances. If you're into Broadway-style productions, look at lines like NCL and Royal Caribbean. If you love a good comic, Carnival has you covered. Some cruise lines even offer first-run movies that you can watch on the big screen out under the stars while sailing in the open ocean. I know, that's one of my favorite things to do. Number 9, you must share your dining table with strangers. Now, forced dining with strangers in the main dining room is no longer something you have to do. Most cruises now have flexible dining that allows you to choose the time you dine as well as who you dine with. And while many cruisers still choose to dine with strangers as they like meeting new people, dining with just your travel party is becoming more and more standard. New ships are providing more seating designed for couples or a foretop. If you find yourself seated at a larger table with guests, you can always ask the maitre d' to reassign you to a private table. If you've chosen a fixed dining time and you want your own table, you're going to need to speak to the maitre d' early, as seating is still limited. Number 10, cruise ships are floating petri dishes. Illness on cruises is not the norm. Ships have strict health protocols, and I've felt safer on cruises than in most crowded places on land. Let's be honest, all places on land. Spend just 1 hour walking on the cruise ship, paying attention, and you're going to see multiple crew members cleaning. And I don't just mean cleaning the obvious places, but baseboards and out-of-the-way places as well. Things like stair railings are constantly being wiped down. Those who are not used to cruising or don't keep up with a lot of cruise news won't realize that cruise lines are required to report cases of illnesses on board their ships to the CDC, which means that any outbreaks, even minor ones, become news. Meanwhile, you could be staying at a hotel with an outbreak and not even know about it. The best way to stay healthy while cruising is to wash your hands. Wash them frequently and always wash them before eating. This is especially true if you're eating at the buffet. Be sure to wash after touching the serving utensils in the buffet, as they are one of the biggest spreaders of germs on a ship. Don't just wash before you walk into the buffet, because some people won't. After you touch all those utensils, go back, wash again before you touch your personal utensils or pick up any food with your hands. That's where the germs are spread. Well, have any of these myths kept you from cruising in the past? Is there one I didn't talk about that you think is a major cruise myth? Let me know. Well, are you ready for more information on cruising? Why not stick around and check out this video and then come back for more information designed to help you have an amazing cruise. Now have a blessed week, everyone.